Hello, welcome to the Circle of Fame panel discussion number 3. And today, the topic of our panel discussion is holistic health and longevity, integrating mind, body, and spirit for optimal well-being. The mission of the Circle of Fame is to unite visionaries and inspire growth. And how we do is by creating a heart-centered community of highly professionals and passionate experts who love what they do and have so much to share with the world. Everyone who watches these panel discussions can find so much wisdom and knowledge from every expert in different fields, and they can connect with those experts whom they resonate the most with to find out how they can work with them. Today, our topic is holistic health and longevity, integrating mind, body, and spirit for optimal well-being. And before we start, I will ask our amazing moderator today, Daniel Kobryner, to introduce himself.
So, hello everyone. So, I'm Daniel Kobryner. Yes, I'm a life coach and I'm a motivational speaker. So, what I do is I help uh, small business entrepreneurs and professionals who feel stuck, have lost their drive, and are uncertain about the direction to regain clarity, motivation, and confidence, and to empower them to live a meaningful and purposeful life and become unstoppable. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. And now I will ask every member of panel discussion to briefly introduce themselves. And we start with Dr. Annika Sorensen.
Hi, I'm Dr. Annika Sorensen. I live in Sweden. I'm a medical doctor, and for the last 15 or so years, I have also been working with stress management in the leadership in my company, Ask Dr. Annika. I speak and I mentor people in getting a better, more happy and profitable workplace and business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Annika. And next we will ask Farzin Mazinani to introduce himself.
Hi, Farzin Mazinani here. I'm very grateful to be among all you in here. So what I do is I'm a holistic wellness practitioner and I'm a limit buster. I call myself a limit buster. Why? Because I believe everything starts from inside. So whatever we see on the outside is a reflection of what we have on the inside. So if we see something that we don't like on the outside, we can trace it back to a root cause. And that is my expertise. I do this for myself and I do this for others. Go to the root cause and fix the root cause, and then the reflection will be changed on the outside.
Thank you. It's so great to have you today on our panel discussion. Neysha Arcelay.
Thank you, Elena, and thank you for hosting this amazing panel. I'm very grateful to be here. I am Neysha Arcelay. I am a transformation advisor and coach, helping spiritually inclined professionals to work with their minds and their energy to lead to personal transformation. And my specialty is professional burnout.
Thank you so much for sharing. And next is Alka Sharma.
Hi there, good morning, everyone. Good evening, or wherever you are. I'm so grateful to be part of this panel discussion. Elena, thank you so much for bringing together leading experts. I'm Alka, and I'm here from Toronto, Canada. I'm a real estate investor. I'm also a women's empowerment advocate. But prior to getting into real estate, I was also a gym owner that I ran for 6 years. And I am now passionate about focusing on women's empowerment, helping women to feel the confidence so that they can live their lives. If you've gone through divorce or any kind of circumstances that you're going through, I want to help you to uncover those steps that you need to live a fulfilling and successful life. Thank you, Lena.
Thank you, Alka. Next is Vangelis.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vangelis, and thank you, Elena, for putting this together. And I also thank all of you here for taking the time to be a part of this too. I was in the business world for 46 years, working with many companies, executives and professionals and rocket scientists and scientists on AI. And the one thing that I realized is once I was inside the company, people started opening up. They became vulnerable. And they started telling me, look, I like talking to you because you know what I'm going through. You've had businesses, you've lived in $1 million home, you know exactly how I feel. And so they said, you should start doing this. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm working with executives, professionals who want some help, but sometimes they might be apprehensive or scared to ask for it. So that's what I make myself available for. And I do, the healing and the mindset too, but I'm seen as a business consultant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vangelis, to be part of our panel discussion today. And next, I will ask to introduce herself, Dr. Anneli.
Hello, everyone. Welcome also, everyone. I'm in Victoria, British Columbia in Canada, originally from Germany. I'm the CEO and founder of the International Metaphysical Academy. I also have a background in clinical counseling for over 40 years, and I have been a certified master coach with the International Coach Federation for over 20 years. So I have a private clinical practice as well and love what I do. I feel very privileged to do what I do. And I have been really gifted to help many people to go through major crises and major growth experiences. So I'm really happy to be with you guys, and I'm very curious about your contributions and your thoughts, and especially this very innovative new program, Elena, that you are starting and have started. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anneli. And next, we will ask to introduce himself, Alan Edwards.
Hi, Elena. Hi, everybody. I'm a property investor from Hampshire in the UK, and I've got an interest in property investment and development. I've also got an interest in mindsets, and I have in the past carried out quite a lot of what you could call endurance events where, typically you'll have more mind over matter involved in achieving the results. So I completed 3 times a 200-kilometer canoe race, which is the longest one in the world. One of those occasions, I won the Reserve Forces Trophy in the UK. I've run numerous marathons sub 3 hours over about 30 years, and my fastest time for a marathon was 2 hours, 35 minutes, 36 seconds. And I only recently found out that this was actually 8 seconds faster than Steve Cram's fastest time for a marathon. I used to come across Steve Cram on races, and I thought I would never actually beat him. But if you keep doing it long enough, you can. So my particular interest is working on my mindset with Elena.
Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you so much. I really so honored to have you all in this panel discussion because I see that everyone has so much love and passion to share with the world, and together we are a big force. Yes, we are a power that together we can make this place which we live in this world much better than it is, and make people find this knowledge and wisdom to really live life with their passion, find their passion and what they love to do. And such panel discussion, they will inspire millions of people to look at their life and how precious they are, how talents and gifts they have, and really bring them to the surface and live this life with fulfillment. And now we come to the main part of our panel discussion, and we will go through some questions where our amazing experts will share their expertise and knowledge with all people who are watching us. And I given the word to our amazing moderator, Daniel.
Well, thank you, Elena. And yeah, it's such a pleasure, to be with all of you here. I mean, and so looking forward to this conversation. So obviously, the topic of the day is holistic health and longevity. And we know that there are a lot of things happening now, and this theme has become so important as well, because there's a lot of disconnection, between what people do and the way they live. And so we'll talk about, we'll talk about all the insights about the interconnectedness of mental, physical, and spiritual health. And so we've got several segments, and the first segment is about defining what is, for you, holistic health. So the first question is, what does holistic health mean to you, and how does it influence overall well-being and longevity? And first, I'm going to ask Dr. Annika for a contribution.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, this is a very important subject because when I've been working in the healthcare, it might be interesting to know that when I went to med school in the 80s, it was believed that the physical and mental health were two different systems. They were not connected. So when you talked with someone in the mental department, they didn't see the body. And when you talked to someone in the physical departments, they didn't see the mental part. Luckily, over the years and with better ways of seeing how things work and, these X-ray things, all the different techniques, we today know that we are one unit, body and mind. It's just one unit, and they need to be in balance for us to feel well. Because if we have illnesses in our body, we will feel depressed or not feel well in our minds. And if we have mental problems of any kind, we will not take care of our bodies, and our bodies will degrade. So we will get sick. So it has to be a balance to actually thrive. And if we want to live long with the longevity thing, then we actually need to take good care of us all the time, because the better we live, the healthier we live in our life, the chances that we live longer is higher.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Annika. And yeah, all about balance.
It's about balance in this,
in all
yes,
aspects
absolutely.
of our life. And now I'm going to ask Anneli for the same, with the same question, if I may.
Thank you, Daniel. When I heard or read the question first, I thought, oh my goodness, this is a subject that has been addressed like for eons. I mean, even the early philosophers that we know about already asked about interconnections of something weird like soul and spirit and body and balance and all that. And when you look today at the different publications that are available, there's tons and tons and tons of information on it. And so I thought, well, what would it mean to me? And that's really all I can share, because we could, expand on the subject like endlessly, or we could go down a rabbit hole and then we get all depressed. So what I was thinking is sharing with you what insight I had recently. I was part of a book project, and it's called 22 authors, and it was called The Book of Hard Knocks. And we were encouraged after our chapter to summarize what was important to us in our life, what was the most key message that we can share about balance, about longevity, about success, etc. And I came up with an abbreviation that I called TLC. Now, TLC is known to mean tender loving care, but I filled it in with different concepts. T for truth, which I could talk a lot about, and what that means to acquire knowledge really in depth and compare different sources and do your own thinking, keep your mind as clear as possible. And so I could talk a lot about it. Then the L is for love, and love is for the world, love for our God, for ourselves, for our families, etc. And that is such an expansive subject, love, that we all know that there's no way we can even address it in probably 100 years. Then the last one is C, which I refer to as carpe vitam, which means live your life well. And that really relates to the subject today in its complexity and its expansiveness as well. And Dr. Annika, what you mentioned, I totally agree with. We are a combination of a lot of different aspects and things, and we need to take care of them and learn about how to do that to create optimal balance in our lives.
Well, thank you very much. Again, very powerful. And we'll remember now TLC, Anneli. We will. This is a new concept for all of us from now onwards. And I'd like to ask the same question to Neysha.
Wow, Daniel, how difficult coming after these two wonderful powerhouses summarizing what does holistic health mean. I think I'm gonna join the two of them and summarize it as holistic health is the ability of us to work with our mind, body, and spirit to create alignment. And it is important to our well-being because we need those three aspects of ourselves to be well in order to do well, which actually will lead to more longevity. When we focus on either mind or body or only spirit and leaving the other two hanging or unattended, it does create a lot of internal impact in our physical and emotional health. So it is very important, like Dr. Annika mentioned, like Dr. Jason mentioned, to have a balance with integrating mind, body, and spirit, which is for me the definition of holistic health.
Thank you very much. Again, all these aspects are so important and we cannot neglect any of them here. And Farzin, I'd like to ask you the same question.
So what does holistic health mean to me?
Yes.
That's the question. So if I ponder about this question, so far we discussed about mind, body, and spirit. And I'm just going to add another element to it. So to me, there are 4 layers: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So those 4 layers are just the 4 tires of a car. So how far we can go if one of those tires are flat? We cannot go far. So we have to consider the whole thing that is interconnected together, and then we can travel far. So that is the thing. Sometimes we look at one aspect and we don't see the other aspects. But how we can expand our mindset, maybe by experience. So my experience was that I had an injury on my back at work, and I was involved in a chronic pain for 15 years, and nobody could give me the clue what was the source of that. And then all the MRI tests, that they didn't show up anything and stuff. So somebody came over and she released the trapped emotions that I had at the time of injury, and then I was fine. So the source of the problem, physical problem that I had, was trapped emotions, the emotional aspect of me. So those things are interconnected. They are not separate. So when we look at ourselves, we see those layers, we notice whatever that is dominant is our spiritual aspect, but we have 3 more layers: physical, emotional, and mental. And so when they are in balance, then we can just move forward with joy and ease. But if any of them are out of balance, it's like that flat tire that we have to fix it. We cannot ignore a flat tire.
And thank you very much. Very powerful. So there are 4 elements now, which, and so thank you very much. And so now that we've defined what holistic health is, we are going to dig a little deeper, and we're talking about mind-body connection. And I've got the following question for you. How does mental health impact physical health, and what strategies can be used to strengthen this connection? And Dr. Annika, I'm going to ask you first to reply to this question for your insight.
Okay, let's dig into this one. Well, how does mental health impact physical health? It is like, if we don't feel well, then we don't care for ourselves in a good way, usually. So we don't sleep well. And if we don't sleep well, we're going to feel less well, even less well. And we don't eat well, or we eat crap food or things that we shouldn't eat, because we just don't have energy to eat. And we don't move enough because we just sit down in the sofa and maybe even feel sorry for ourselves. So if we don't feel well, it's going to affect our physical health very much. And we also usually withdraw from friends and family and work, and, go into ourselves. And it makes us tired, sloppy, energy drops, and we get physically ill. And it also affects our, what do you call it, the resistance systems, so that we get less antioxidants in our bodies, and we have a big risk of infectious diseases. So it's a spiral downwards if we don't feel well. I know we're going to talk more about what to do about this. But we need to care for our physical daily maintenance, taking walks, eating good, and bother about our sleep. And I think we're going to talk more about those things.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for these insights. And Vangelis, for you, how does mental health impact physical health? Which strategies can be used to strengthen this connection?
I want to share a message of hope. The mental and the mind, to me, and the physical, all of that is just interwoven. I was watching this video of this zygote, and it was 1 cell, then it went to 2 cells, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. And then there was a time where it changed into this other process called differentiation, where you're going to be a heart cell, you're going to be a kidney cell, you're going to be a liver cell. And I said, wait. Where did it get this intelligence? It's 1 cell. And then in 1985, Dr. Bruce Lipton did an experiment where he took the DNA out of a cell. Everyone thought it would die. It didn't die. It lived. The purpose of the DNA was just for replication. So he and other people realized that the intelligence lives in the cell, the membrane. So if you connect that further, that means that every cell is an intelligent being. So where's your mind? My finger, my ear, my brain. In my entire body is made up of intelligent beings. And then they realized that nothing is fixed. That's hope. That means that there's nothing fixed in life, because we were always taught, when you're born, it's done. And they realized, no, it's not. So now, if you do that further, Candace Pert, in her book, Molecules of Emotion, she said, everything that you get from your body, your signals, there are no positive or negative emotions. It's just a message. And when you look at it that way, it's telling you something. So now you have these messages that come to you, and now you realize nothing is fixed, and that every cell of your body is your mind, an intelligent being. The strategy that I started realizing is I start speaking lovingly to myself. I start visualizing every part of my body just working and functioning so beautifully. I'm so happy. So if my, I like what you said, Farzin, where you have a pain or something because you have an emotional block. Now it's like, okay, what are you telling me? I'm not angry. I'm actually thankful that you're speaking to me. And because now I have this communication back and forth, now I can start speaking back to my intelligent cells. They speak to me. And now I have this ecosystem, this beautiful holistic way of looking and using my mental, my health, to work with my physical health.
Again, beautiful. Thank you so much for this share. And what about you, Neysha? What is for you, how does mental health impact physical health?
It impacts everything. It all starts in the mind. And I think Dr. Annika and Vangelis have spoken a little bit about it, but it all starts in your mind. Every single action, every single decision, every single goal that you have, or disinterest that you have. It all starts with your mind. So in the same matter, in order to have a strong physical health, we need a strong mind to support that. And actually, it's something that I encounter a lot in my burnout practice is the disconnection, like we discussed before, between mind, body, and spirit, and that sense of needing to be always on the go and always running against the next activity and the next expectation from others or from yourself. So in order to strengthen that mindset, in which will lead to better outcomes in your life, you need to create space during the day to connect with yourself. And Vangelis was saying, understand what is your body trying to tell you that you have been ignoring with all of the activities and engagements that we put ourselves through during the day.
Wow, thank you so much. And you know what I take from this is this very simple sentence: listen to your body. Your body is talking to you the whole time, and when we
Yeah.
listen to that, you know, we'll be able to take action. So thank you so much. What about you, Farzin? What is your take on this question?
So the question is the relationship between our mental and physical
Yes,
layers. So I'm just going to give you an example as a story, a real story. So somebody came to my house long ago. She was a guest. She was coming from another country, and she was nurse back home. And she told me a story that was very interesting. I even put that story in my book. So she said that the hospital that she was working in, two people came, and they both had severe headaches. And after examination, one of them was diagnosed with severe migraine, the first one. And the second one was diagnosed with a tumor in the brain, very close to a sensitive area that they weren't able to do the surgery. So they told the second person, you're going to be living for another month, not more than that, because it is somewhere that we cannot do anything, and it's very aggressive, and it is destroying everything. So the second person died within a month. So the parents went to the hospital to just grab the medical files and stuff, and they noticed something. They noticed that on the tests, somebody else's name is in there. So that was the first person. Can you imagine? The files were switched by mistake. And the second person had a severe migraine, but he was told that he had a tumor, and he died within a month. The first person, they gave them some medications for migraine, and he had the tumor in the brain, but he was cured. Can you imagine that? It is based on their belief. So your belief can kill you or they can heal you. It is that strong. So that was the message for me, that how our mental capacity can affect our physical capacity. That's why what I do for myself and what I suggest to my clients and people I work with is that always check what type of belief you have. Is it something that is harmful, or it is something that is helpful? It might be some harmful belief. We generalize everything. You know, our mind is set like that. We generalize everything. So sometimes we have to just go over the belief that we have and then challenge them if they are helpful or harmful. And if we challenge our beliefs at the standpoint of our spiritual aspect, that intelligence that Vangelis was talking about, then we can choose. Then we have the choice to leave it or take it.
Wow, thank you very much again. You know, so powerful, and
Yes.
so
Yeah, and I want to also ask you, Daniel, how you would answer this question.
Ah, well, I mean, for me, this question, it's again, if you are good, I mean, if you feel good, you know, and if you feel appeased, and if you, how do you say, yeah, if really things are, yeah, you are good in your head, you know, basically, you know, it's going to be good with your health. But obviously, if it's not the case, I think it was mentioned before, so I just don't want to repeat everything. But basically, you know, if we're not feeling well, we are going to neglect ourselves. You know, we are going to ruminate. We are going to, and then what happens is gradually, physically, you know, will let us down as well. And another point which was mentioned as well is that, and this I've noticed on a personal level, is that if, yeah, for instance, if we're not taking care of ourselves, the immune system is going to weaken. And so, yeah, so so in terms of, you know, the strategies is really, I mean, there are different ones, but we need to really take care of, you know, of ourselves, and you say, adopt practices which are going to be very helpful, like, for instance, practicing gratitude, could be meditation, you know, could be journaling. I think we'll talk a little more about that. But we really, when we listen, when our body tells us that things are not right, we have absolutely to take some, how do you say, measures.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's go to the question, the
Yes.
next segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next question will be, what role does mindfulness play in improving both mental and physical health? And actually, Elena, I would like to ask you this question.
Mindfulness plays significant role, and as my mentor Bob Proctor was always saying, that if you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So mindfulness is the ability to live in present and live from the place of awareness and understand what we do, why we do. Mindfulness is not reacting. Mindfulness is responding. And of course, when people are not reactive, when they don't live on emotions, but understand who they are, how they behave, what are their standards, what is their philosophy for life, it will help them to prevent burnouts, it will help them to prevent many conflicts with themselves and with other people, and it will help them also to live life with satisfaction. I think that this is very important, to live life with fulfillment and find out who you are, understand you are, study yourself. I recently heard Neville Goddard quote that he said that the biggest tragedy in one's life is to die and never discover who you truly are. So discovering who you are, it is so much vital, and it starts with mindfulness, because we all are programmed to some extent to live other people's lives, because some other people told us rules when we just were born. We were born so unique and so happy and so joyful, and we were open for all the opportunities. We wanted everything. We wanted to dream, and we were dreaming, and there were no limitations for us. But the system of things and people, even if they wanted the best for us, but they put for us so much limitations that our golden and brilliant self got covered with so many layers of different imperfections, viruses like doubts and fears, that this our perfection, what is in our DNA, is finding so difficult to come to the surface and shine. That is why mindfulness is important for us to wake up and understand who we are, what is our genius, what are our strengths, and understand how precious everyone is, and live our own life, finding our genius, what is strong for us, and creating those goals which come from our heart, from our essence, who we truly are. And then mindfulness helps us to live according who we are. So we don't accept anything that is not aligned with who we are, with the goals we have, and the mission also we found for us, why we live, and what makes our life really fulfilled. And this is when we identify this, we become mindful what we eat, how we value our body, because if we understand who we are, we will love ourselves. So when we love ourselves, this mindfulness comes because we want to take care of ourselves so we can live healthy, wealthy, and long life to fulfill our mission.
Wow. Thank you so much, Elena, for all these points. And Neysha, can I ask you the same question? What does mindfulness play in improving both mental and physical health?
Absolutely. Thank you, Daniel. I think I'm going to tag along with Elena because that was a fantastic overall description. If I was going to summarize for people that have not heard about mindfulness or have heard about it and do not know exactly what it is, mindfulness is simply bringing our awareness from the world around us to the world within us. That's the simplest definition. What it does is basically reduce our reaction mode because we are always connected to something. We are always attentive to the next task or the next event, the phones, the computers, etc. It allows us to separate ourselves from that in order to go within and, like Elena described, set the standard and the baseline based on our own personal belief system and not necessarily what we have been conditioned to believe. It is important to understand also that because of this, mindfulness allows us to be centered and to determine what is it that we are going to be needing to make ourselves successful, and in that way have a positive impact in everyone that surrounds us as well.
Well, thank you very much, Neysha, for outlining, for everybody who is listening as well, all what mindfulness is about. And thanks for that. And Farzin, I'm going to ask you as well this question. What role does mindfulness play in improving mental and physical health?
Okay, so when I think about mindfulness, it brings me to two aspects. One is the outside world. Am I aware of my surrounding, my feelings, whatever that's happening on the outside? Am I paying attention to what is happening? And the second part is on the inside, my inner talks, my feelings, the things that is going on the inside. If I be able to just operate at a higher level, which is higher than even the mental level, then I can see those bottom ones. If I'm operating at the mental level, my mental level lead me to just automatic reactions, and I operate as a robot because I'm always on that automatic mode. So when I'm on the automatic mode, I'm not alive. What makes me alive? It is something that is above and beyond those programmings that I have. So it is like a light bulb that is on. So I give you an example. Sometimes I'm driving in a highway and I notice that people are driving and we all are going somewhere. And sometimes I feel like the time has passed. I have been driving. I was busy with thinking about different things, and all of a sudden I'm at my destination. So I'm not present, but something happens. Let's say I'm driving, and as I'm driving, somebody sends me a message or a phone call or something, I receive it, something happening, I have to be somewhere very fast. Maybe there's an injury, there's somebody needs help or something like that. So I have to turn myself on. Why? Because before that, I was sleep driving. I call it the sleep driving. Then I have a message that I have to be somewhere and it is emergency. I have to be there fast. So what I do is I become alert. And then I notice that the other drivers are sleep driving. That's why I can go zigzag in the middle of the road and just pass them and go to my destination. So because everybody else is asleep driving, they are just thinking about things and they are just keeping their distance. That's why when somebody is alive, they can do things that the other people who are sleeping cannot do. So that is the difference. It's just an example that when we are alive, we are connected. We are connected with everything and everyone. And we are connected with our surroundings and we are connected with the inner. Sometimes you are on that stage and you receive a message from inside and you act on it because you're alert, because you are awake. So awakefulness is another word for mindfulness that I use.
Wow, again, very powerful. So being very awake, being fully in the present moment, having all your senses opened, and then, yeah, thank you. So another question for you is, how can lifestyle choices such as diet and exercise contribute to a longer and healthier life? I would like to ask Alka this question.
Alka is not with us anymore.
Oh, sorry. No, I've not seen. Okay, sorry. I couldn't see because I was not. Okay, so then I'm going to ask Vangelis this question.
Thank you. Lifestyle and choices and diet. Diet also includes how we feed our mind, how we feed our thoughts. Whatever you choose to accept will eventually become how you travel in your journey. And we choose every day who we want to be. All those decisions, every choice matters. Sometimes we don't even know what we're saying and we're affecting ourselves, right? And like Wazim was saying, we're not even awake, okay? So lifestyles are created from what we believe to be true. I'll give you an example. I was in the gym and there were these two gentlemen talking to this one person. And these guys were saying, gosh, they had all these pains and aches. And that guy said, well, that's normal. And I was thinking, no, it's not. I've never had those pains. I'm twice your age, and I still don't. So now this person is telling these two people that's a lifestyle. So what is normal? A lot of times, what we're told is normal is based on people that are not living normal. But since we have not experienced or even know anybody that lives differently, that's why I appreciate this panel, because we're bringing to light things that people may never even know what's even possible. So these lifestyle choices, is it really a choice? When someone tells you it's normal to have that pain, is it really a choice? Do you have all the information? So who decides again what's normal? So these guys created this lifestyle based on stuff that is not really normal. So how do you create a lifestyle where it's actually improving your life? So you have to listen to people that may say things that might sound like the absolute opposite of what you've heard. And I like to look around the room and I like to say, okay, how did you do that? How did you live like that? How do you do this? Like when I was in the gym, I'd say, how'd you get the on your arm? So I would look around and listen to people that have what I want or have things that I've never even heard about. So in the results, I try things. I don't just read a book, I apply it. And then I look at the proof. Did it result in something that was beneficial for me? So the strategy for me is to really look around, get as much input as you can, find the people that have the life that you are, and be open to hearing something different.
Very powerful. Again, thank you very much, Vangelis, for this share. And Neysha, can I ask you the same question?
Absolutely, Daniel. Thank you. So, each and every one of our actions leads to a particular outcome. If you want to be successful, you are going to have to take into account what are the daily actions that you have every single day that supports you in that journey. And that's the importance of quieting the noise around you, like we talked in the previous questions, and centering yourself to try to focus on what you want to accomplish. I have heard through our fellow panelists a lot of gym visits and working out, etc. So if we want to be physically healthy, we need to infuse our body with foods that fuel that success. If we want to achieve a particular breakthrough in our professional lives, we are going to have to equip ourselves with the tools and skills that we need to support that outcome. The exact same thing in our lifestyles. Depending on what we want, we sometimes are going to be needing to make choices that support that journey and fuel us to move forward. And this strategy that Vangelis had just discussed of being curious and exploring things that you may not necessarily have heard before, it is an outstanding way to start that process. But if I was going to summarize, you have to make the choices every day for the lifestyle that you are wanting to have in the future.
Well, thank you very much, Neysha, for this. Alan, can you hear me?
Hi, Daniel. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I concur with all the other speakers. And I think the issue about making daily choices is very relevant, because sometimes it makes a lot of difference, the amount of commitment that you have to your goals. And so very often unusual goals, like very high level goals, demand unusual commitment. And so it's a combination of mind and diet and physics as well, in order to be able to achieve those goals. So yes, all these things are linked, and yeah, depending on what you want to achieve, you can do it if you make that level of commitment as well.
Well, thank you very much, Alan. And obviously, you are very well placed to talk about this because of you being running marathons, and you know how important these lifestyles choices are, right? So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, well, now we are going to move to another level, which is spirituality and longevity. And the question I've got for the panel is the following one. What role does spirituality play in achieving optimal well-being and longevity? And I would like to ask this question to Farzin.
Sure. So spirituality, when I look at the spirituality, I look at myself. And then when I look closely, I notice that I'm not my physical body. Why? Because if I'm my physical body, if I cut my hand and put it in front of me, I'm going to be a different person, but I'm not a different person in that case. So I'm still me. So I'm not my physical body. And nowadays people are fighting and killing each other over gender and race and skin color, and because they are in the trap that they think that they are their physical body, but it is not the case, for me at least. So, and then I look at another aspect of myself, which is emotional. Sometimes I'm mad, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm gloomy, and so changes. All the emotions changes. Do I change with the emotions? No, I'm the same person experiencing those emotions. So it is just a layer. I'm not my emotions. I'm not my anger. I'm not my sadness. I'm something beyond that. So I'm not my emotions. What about my thoughts? Some people think that they exist because they think. But if with that scenario, if I close my eyes and shut down my mind and don't think about anything, I still exist. So it means that I'm not my mental aspect of me. So I'm something beyond all those layers, which is the spiritual aspect. You can call it consciousness, you can call it intelligence, infinite intelligence, you can call it soul, or whatever you call it, spiritual aspect, which is beyond those layers. But I still have those layers. So what I can do is that when something I'm facing, which is a challenge or a problem, usually is coming from those layers, physical, emotional, and mental. And when I am standing on top of those layers, I can see those things that are entangled in those layers, and then I can heal them. How? We all have the power of love, which is something that belongs to that higher consciousness that we have, and we can heal all those wounds on the physical, emotional, and mental with that power. It's very powerful. I have some examples, but I might get a chance to just talk about those examples, but I'm just gonna leave it to others to just expand on this.
Well, thank you very much for these insights, Farzin. And Anneli, for you, what role does spirituality play in achieving optimal well-being and longevity?
Well, thank you. Farzin, you just did such a beautiful expose on the subject that I decided to not talk about what I had prepared in my mind to talk about, and wanted to highlight another element on spirituality and longevity, and that has to do with our geopolitical system. If we would all, regardless of our religious background or spiritual knowledge or whatever, look at what we're really here for and who we are as human beings and what our goal is, our task is to get through this life, which is only, as we all know, a very, very tiny little part of our total existence, we could actually move towards something that every heart is aching for, and that is world peace. What is going on right now is retaliation, showing muscles, to keep it in simple language, threatening each other, rather than sitting down and talking, trying to understand, trying to resolve issues, rather than fighting back. And this has been historically the case for so long in our world. And it also has been going on in our micro world, in our families, in our marriages, our relationships. And we need to find and commit to a different way of operating when there is an apparent conflict or disagreement. And so spirituality is, again, a very large word with a lot of different elements, which Farzin you explained. There is something in there that is and could direct from our spirit, and that is to purify ourselves in a way that we are worthy to create a world that is again filled with love and order and interdependence and freedom. And so it's very much on my mind. And one of the things that Vangelis you touched on is something that I would like to add and emphasize, and that is we need to make a choice and a commitment. We need to be open, curious, to explore different modus of operandi. We need to be really dedicated to ourselves and our life to make the best of it, to fulfill our mission, as Elena mentioned earlier, and to help ourselves and everyone to achieve our ultimate goal, and that is to be worthy again and ready again to unite with our Creator.
Wow, so beautiful, Anneli, thank you. And Elena, I'm going to ask you this question as well. What role does spirituality play in achieving optimal well-being and longevity for you?
Thank you, Daniel, for asking me. I resonate so much with what Dr. Anneli and Farzin just said. Spirituality is the foundation of true well-being and longevity. You're not just physical body, you are spiritual being having a physical experience. And the moment that you truly understand this, your entire life shifts. You start to see that your thoughts, your energy, and your connections to higher power shall shape your health, happiness, and success. Spirituality gives you purpose. When you're aligned with a purpose bigger than yourself, stress fades, fear disappears, and you're more alive, you're more connected, and you move through life with confidence and ease. And it is not just about religious beliefs. It is about tuning into your higher self, raising your vibration, and living in the harmony with universal laws. And people who nurture their spiritual well being live longer, healthier, and more fulfilled lives. Why? because they let go of negativity. They trust the process of life, and they stay in a state of gratitude and faith. If you want optimal well-being, start feeding your soul as much as you feed your body. Meditate, visualize, give thanks, and stay in alignment with the energy of abundance. That is the secret to not just living long, but living well.
Wow, so beautiful. I have to say, Elena, I resonate so much, with all what you said now, and I suppose it's, it applies for the other members of the panel. I mean, it's really about something which is above ourselves. And again, when we go, when we elevate our vibrations, and this is where things really change, and we see life differently. It's more peace, and it's more, it's more. Kindness, I think it was mentioned before. I mean, it's something so important, and practicing gratitude. It's that, living in the present moment. So thank you, Elena. And I'm going to ask now another question, which is, how can people incorporate spiritual practices such as meditation or gratitude into their daily lives for a better health? And I'm going to ask Dr. Annika this question.
Thank you. Yes, this is for me about the small things. You do small things, and that's going to help you on a big scale in the total. I never been a big meditator doing meditation and so on, even though I'm brought up with that in the side of my life. But about 10 years ago, at a very large event, I learned a tool that helped me tremendously and that I teach my clients today, and that is to mini meditate. Just closing your eyes for a few minutes and slowly say a positive word to yourself over and over. And I used the word release because that was what they told us at that moment. And I think that works. And I use that every time when I've been working, for example, and I sit on the bus or a train on my way back. I can use 10 minutes of mini meditating to myself. And when I get home, I have a good evening because I let go of all the things that been bothering me at work, or all those things that you need to just get off. And so that is the mini meditation. And gratitude I also use every time when I go to bed. I learned that when I was in a business that was in bankruptcy. I started to say thank you for having this great bed where I could sleep well, and because I was grateful when I went to bed, I slept so much better. So it's about those small things that we do on a regular basis, and when you practice them, they come automatic when you need them.
Well, thank you so much. And as you say, small things doesn't need to take a lot of time, but when we do it, we feel the results. Gratitude meditation could be breathwork, breathing exercises, and Vangelis, can I ask you the same question? How can people incorporate spiritual practices such as meditation or gratitude into their daily lives for better health?
This was a challenging thing for me at first. There were so many people, they were having difficulty meditating because of so much noise in their head. For me, it was because my life was dictated to me. And so when people said, you have to do this, it was like an immediate resistance. And then the people that were telling me do this, I didn't really think their life was that great. So there was all these things that were going on in my life. I'm going, look, it's like a guy who writes a book on how to be wealthy, and he gets his wealth from the sale of the book. I want you to be wealthy first, then write the book. And so people that were telling me, go ahead and meditate, but you're not even at peace. I want you to be at peace first, and then tell me how you got the peace. So this has been so challenging for me because, again, telling me to do this and do this and do this, it was just like I'm back in my religious environment again, telling me everything. So what I had to do to get past all of that was I had to start surrounding myself And that was a challenge too, surrounding myself with people that had a life that I wanted. Said, oh, okay, how do you do that? If all these things are happening and you're still at peace, how'd you do? So then they started teaching me, showing me, demonstrating to me what they were doing. And so I had an example in front of me. Like I said, okay, so how do you shut your mind off from all this noise? Those type of things. And I had to start believing that it worked. I was in a catch-22. If you do this, you'll be at peace, but I wasn't in peace. So where do I go? So it was very difficult. But once I started listening and starting to watch people and they were helping me, then it started working. My affirmations didn't work because I didn't believe in them. So telling people, sometimes like in my case, telling me to do something that just is a repel. So again, get myself with people, I can see what they're doing. And I started realizing, okay, so it does help you do that. I realized also in gratitude, just me recognizing the beautiful changes in my life was my way of being grateful. I didn't have to write a list of them, because that's what they told me to do too. And I said, yeah, but I want to be genuine. I really want to be sincere. I don't want to do something because someone tells me. And it's okay to really be honest with myself. And that was the other thing. I had to be honest that I didn't really believe it. Once I was honest, then that also propelled me into going, okay, why am I resistant? Why do I not want to do this? So I had to go deep in and really figure out what was the resistance. And once I started believing in myself and started loving myself, then all that meditation just came organically. And now I recognize so many beautiful things in all of you and all the people that are here. I mean, I have so much compassion for everything around me now because I had to really go deep inside and figure out what that was.
Wow. Thank you so much. And, you say believing in yourself. Yeah. I mean, it's really, it starts with that. And when we start really embracing this and having faith and knowing that we can do things, and again, it's nothing to do with the others. It's about starting with us. And this is afterwards how we can reflect this to the outside world. So thank you so much. And Neysha, can I ask you this question as well? For you, how can people incorporate these spiritual practices such as meditation or gratitude into their daily lives in order to reach a better health?
I love this question because the first thing that I get from the clients that I interact with is, I don't have time. And we perceive that we do not have time. But I am just going to say one thing. We are only as successful as the choices we make in every moment. And we are only as successful as the habits that we cultivate. So I am going to say like the Nike brand, just do it. I am going to suggest for everyone that is listening to this to take inventory of the day, because there always is a way when we can carve out, and like Dr. Annika said, it doesn't have to be anything big, anything long. We can carve out a few minutes from our day to incorporate practices that not only elevate our spirit, but energize us to take over the rest of the day. Whether that is meditation, gratitude, introspection, or just a simple breathing exercise, the effects are going to last you for a long time if these practices become a habit.
Thank you so much, Neysha. Thank you. And Elena, can I ask you the same question as well?
Yes, of course. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Incorporating spiritual practices like meditation and gratitude helps us to shift our mindset and to align with our higher selves. Meditation, if it takes just 5 minutes a day, it clears our mind, it reduces stress, and connects us with the infinite energy within us. And also, it brings clarity and peace, which positively impacts our overall health. And also, gratitude. Gratitude works wonders because it helps us to focus on what we have. And by focusing on what we already have that we're grateful for each day, we shift from lack to abundance. We start focusing on what we have. And when we're grateful for what we already have, more things come to our life to be grateful for. This is how it works. And these simple practices raise your vibrations. It also lowers your stress and boosts your immunity. Because mind, as we said, mind, spirit, and body are connected. And when we focus on good things in our mind, our body also gets to high vibrations, and all the processes are vitalizing. And it is the key to creating a life filled with energy, health, and resilience. And of course, consistency is everything. So we don't need even more time. It is just about being conscious that how we eat. We find time every day to eat. We find time every day to brush our teeth. Yes, we do so many things as a habits. So we have to create the habits when we understand how important they are for our well-being. And we can start just from 5 minutes a day in the morning when we woke up. We can write in our gratitude journal 5 reasons what we're grateful for. That we woke up, that we have food, that we have shelter, that we have this life. That is already such a big gift. We always can find what we're grateful for. And we, through the day, we can always find few minutes, 5 minutes, just to focus on flame or focus on the dot. And just empty our mind by thinking about one thing, like, for example, dot or flame on the candle, and help us to release all those stresses which we have and just become calm and empty our mind. And this is how we give the space for good ideas. Also, we decrease the stress level. And our health reflects the energy that we put out. So if we do these practices and connect with good energies, and we feed our mind with positivity, we can see such a huge transformation which will come so fast after we start implementing these techniques.
Well, thank you so much, Elena. Thank you. And now we'll move to practical strategies for a balanced life. So the question I've got for you is, what daily habits or routine do you recommend for maintaining a balance again across mind, body, and spirit? And Alan, this is a question for you. I don't know if you heard the question, Alan.
Yes, I heard the question.
Yes,
Thanks,
you
Daniel.
did. Okay.
Yeah, this is something I've got to work on, and it's a personal challenge for me at the moment to look across all these aspects to make sure that my aspirations for helping other people are part of my goals that I set out. So I've got plans to help a children's charity at the moment in Ukraine, and yeah, this is something which was not previously part of my goals, but which I'm finding is quite satisfying in terms of being part of myself. So there are other charities as well, and I think that everyone should take account of their spiritual being as well. Have compassion for things that are going on in the world. That's all I've got to say, Daniel.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. And Elena, would you like to answer this question? Which daily
Yes,
habit?
Yes. Maintaining balance across our mind, body, and spirit is about creating daily habits for each of aspects of our life. And your mind, spirit, and body are interconnected. And when one is out of balance, it affects the others. So we have to nurture all these aspects every day: our spirit, our body, and our mind. And the key is consistency and intention. So how we can do this? Like, I want to speak about few of creating few of habits which can help us to create this alignment, yeah, and nourish our body, mind, and spirit. Every day we can wake up with intention. Every day we wake up with gratitude, and we can reflect on what we're thankful for and set a positive intention for the day. This anchors your mind in abundance and helps you stay focused on your goals. The second is meditation or mindfulness. Dedicate time every day to clear your mind. It can be 10 minutes. It can be, you can start even with 5 minutes. And do it continuously, because meditation connects you to your inner self, reduces stress, and improves clarity. And when you do this, you will see how mindful you become, how present you become, how positive you become, and how you can control your thoughts. Because when you are clear of that negativity, when you are present and focused, your actions aligned with your goal and your health improves. The next one, I would suggest to create habit to move your body daily. Exercise, and it is not just about physical fitness, it's about energy. Whether you do yoga or you walk or go into gym, movement helps to release stagnant energy, boosts your mood, and improves overall health. Another thing that I would like to mention is eating habits. Eat to fuel your body. Nourish your body with wholesome, nutritious food. Your body is a vessel, and feeding it with high quality plant-based or whole food supports optimal health and energy. Because you know this saying that we are what we eat. Yeah, we become what we eat. We are what we think, and also we are what we eat. So it is what we eat, it affects our body and our longevity. Another practice I would recommend also to include to daily habits is mindful breathing. You can just set again 5 minutes and make some breaks during the day to focus on your breathing, how you inhale and exhale, and do it few minutes. And this only one very short exercise will help you to come down again, to be more grounded, to be more present, and it will help you even to be more sharp. You will have more clarity during the day. It will calm your nervous system, enhance focus, and balances your energy. Another one is reflect and visualize. Spend few moments each day visualizing your goals and feel as they already achieved, and visualize your ideal life, how you really want to live, how you want to achieve those goals, who you will become. And this practice strengthens your connection to your spiritual self and reinforces your path to success. When you get to that high frequency feeling that your goal already achieved and you become that person who is already there, you will start thinking, feeling, and acting as that person, and you will make decisions from that place, and you will act different. So you will see that your results will shift so much when you just implement this practice. And of course, self-care and rest. Make time for relaxation and sleep. Sleep, we know that it is important for adults to sleep 7-8 hours. Your body needs time to regenerate, and rest vital for healing, growth, and creativity. Yeah, so these are the habits that I would like to share with you, which are so essential for our well-being.
Well, again, this was so many different habits that we can incorporate in our life at all levels, and this is
May I add something?
of course, you may, Anneli.
I think what is really, really important that we look at what we enjoy doing, because otherwise it's just a chore. We have to do, oh yeah, I have to do this, and I need to create balance, rather than looking at, do I enjoy dancing like I know, Elena, you do, right? And it's exercise, and it's air, it's movement, it's joy, it's all of that. Or do I enjoy something like, for example, and I like to create jewelry. This is my hobby. So it's really essential that we add that element of pleasure to what we need to do, because then it just as I think Vangelis, I think it was you mentioning that there are messages we give to our system, and our system gives us messages back, and so that is just really very, very crucial. So I thought I just want to add this to your list of absolutely essential activities that we need to really pay attention to and get involved with when we want the optimal well-being spiritually and physically.
Thank
Well,
you
thank
so
you.
much. Yes.
Thank you so much, Anneli. And
So,
I'm just asking the panel, anybody wants to add something as well, which was not mentioned?
I just want to expand on what Dr. Anneli mentioned, and it was what it is called is gamifying your life. So if you take things as chores, you are resisting to it, and it is hard, and you have that notion that no, I'm not going to be doing it. But what if it is a game? So if you change the label from the task or chore to game, everything starts to change. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Like sometimes I play this reporter game. What is that game? I imagine that I'm a reporter. So everything that I see around me, I start reporting it to myself. I'm watching this, that car is passing, this is happening and stuff like that. So as if I'm reporting it to somebody else, but I'm reporting it to myself. And it brings me to the time that I am in at a time. So it is a mindfulness practice, but it is a game. Let's say I want to eat something. I imagine that I am a food critic, that as I'm tasting the food, I'm just analyzing everything, what tastes, what ingredients and stuff I feel that is a little bit sour, it's a little bit this and a little bit that. So I imagine that I am reporting it as a food critic. So it is like a game, but it helps you to just practice that mindfulness. I'm just going to give you another one. So sometimes I want to do the meditation, let's say, and it's a chore. So I don't like to do it because I have to sit down and spend time. But what if it is a game? So what is that game? It is a combination of gratitude and meditation, actually. What is it? I just sit down and close my eyes and try to catch those thoughts that is bubbling up from somewhere inside to the surface. And as they bubble up and I notice them, I thank them because they came a long way to show themselves to me. So I thank them. Thank you for coming over. I just acknowledge them and I notice them and I thank them. And the next one comes. The next bubble comes. As it is surfacing, I thank them. Thank you for coming over. The next one comes. You know what happens after a while? There's no thoughts. It's silence. And within that silence, something big starts to shift within me. So it's just like a game. You play that game, and then the results that you get out of this game is substantial. I'm going to give you the last one. So it is like playing the love game. So I say that I know that I have to practice love, but it's like a chore. I don't like it and stuff. So what I do is that I have that game. So what can I do today that I don't expect any results out of it? So I just find one thing that I can do without expecting any results. I just do something without expecting any results. And I turn it into a game. And sometimes when you do it over and over again, within a month, it becomes a habit. You're doing at least one thing out of your heart that is not expecting anything in return. It starts at a game, but it shifts something within you and you become a person that you even didn't expect yourself from being that far and advanced in the spirituality, because it is just all those small things that we do that just catch up and starts us to go through the experience of breakthrough. So breakthrough is the combination of those small things that when the energy comes enough and enough and enough, all of a sudden we have that moment of quantum shift. We operate at a different level. that we were not operating before. There is not anything in between. It's the gather of those small things, and all of a sudden you just jump. It's a quantum jump. It is not gradual. It is a quantum jump. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And, Anneli and Farzin for bringing this dimension. You see, 2 points which came to my mind, if I may, there as well, is, when we talk about playfulness and, we remember the time when we were kids. When we are children, yesterday doesn't exist, tomorrow doesn't exist. We're in the present moment and we play and we enjoy and we have fun. And in a way, this is what we need, to learn again if we have forgotten that. This was one thing. And the other thing, just Farzin, over what you said, about expectations is, at least from my side, what I realized that, when I'm doing things which I love doing, like, coaching and, helping people to get the best out of themselves, it's a passion for me. And I don't expect anything. I'm doing things because I love doing it. I love sharing, I love giving, I love caring, And so I'm in the journey. I trust the journey. It's not about the results. It's about the journey. It's about enjoying it. Of course, afterwards, if results are there, this is great. It's fantastic. It's this, but it's really about enjoying every moment of that, because obviously some things are within our control and some are not. So, it's, and then it's why, when we live our passions, this really brings it to another level. It's not about us, it's about, others, and it's about helping, and it's about that. So just wanted to add this little dimension there. And and now another question for the panel. Can you share a case study or an example where a holistic approach transformed someone's health or life, or perhaps yours? And I would like to ask Neysha the question. Oh, is Neysha still here? No? Oh, I think Neysha has gone. Oh, sorry. So then I'm going to ask Vangelis the question.
Perfect.
Thank
I
you.
think we've mentioned several times there's all these energy bodies, the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And usually when I'm working with someone, I have this pie chart, and it's got different areas of your life. For example, your relationship to yourself, personal discovery of yourself, health, your finances, fun and play, and spirituality, career, and integrity. So I had this idea that when you're growing up, as you start learning things and people say things to you, those first 8 years of your life, you haven't really physiologically built your ability to analyze or filter or push back on anything. Whatever someone tells you, you just take it as truth. Someone says you're brilliant, your subconscious mind has no judgment. It's no different than if someone says you're dumb. All right. So whatever someone told you, if they said you're brilliant, well, you're going to take that idea and apply it to all the areas of your life. I'm brilliant in finances, brilliant in my career, brilliant in my relationships, brilliant, all that stuff. But the opposite is true as well. So I had this one person, they came to one of my seminars and they said, I really need a job. I have sent out resumes for the last 2 years. No one has responded. I'm living off my credit cards. And he said, I just really need some help. And I said, well, let's work on something first. You don't believe this works, do you? No. Okay. So let's work on that. So I went through all that circle of all that stuff, and he wants his finances, but his soul says, that's not happening because there's other stuff over here. And so it was an emotional block. There was a spiritual unbelief. There was a mental limitation, all these things. We got rid of his, I don't believe this works. Then we started working on the other aspects of his life. Well, how are you with this? And do you get to know you, just discover you? So we broke for lunch. He comes back after lunch. He says, I cannot believe this. One of those companies called me, interviewed me, and gave me a job. I said, well, that was kind of slow. Joking, of course. Right. But this is what I mean. So now not everything happens that fast, because depending upon how deep a block or a mental issue is or a belief is, but I've seen so many of those things in so many years that when you are able to really get to the root of what really is happening, it may not be what you're wanting to work on, But whatever your soul says, this is really what we need to work on first. When you work on those things, then it's almost like a domino, okay, and then everything else just kind of happens. So I've seen that, and then it's happened to me as well. But just knowing that you take whatever the root is and you start working with what your soul wants, I've seen just tremendous changes like that. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Wow, again, so powerful. And I'm going to ask Dr. Anneli the same question. If you've got a case study or somebody, you know,
Yeah,
where
I
there
have
was a real holistic approach transformed.
I have a very moving, beautiful example. I started the academy in 2009 already, and in 2010 I had a new student. Someone showed up and said, well, I just read in the yellow pages, remember those days when we still had the yellow pages? He said, I saw the Metaphysical Academy, I want to get in there. So he had no money. He had just come out of jail. He moved very quickly from Saskatchewan to Victoria, to British Columbia. And he said, that's what I need, that's what I want. He didn't he was 27 years old. She didn't finish grade 12. And he just wanted to be in the academy. And he said, I really, I have screwed up my life. I want to be better. And I say that because it so much starts with a commitment. If you have clients, if you have people who just want you to do the work, it's not going to happen. So, and I told him that, but he was very clear on that also. So I said, great. And by the way, he paid throughout the years. This is a 5-year program, the academy program. He paid everything. It was delayed, but he totally kept his commitment to pay the full tuition fee. And so during the course of our working together, he finished grade 12, which as a 27-year-old is a little bit embarrassing sometimes, in front of your peers. Then he did jobs as a cook. He got into sales. He even spent time picking up dead bodies, which is called transportation specialist. So he did that too. So he was not shy of work. And sometimes he had like 2-3 jobs at this on the side. And he made it through grade 12, made it through college. And I shorten now, he got a bachelor's degree in indigenous art, or indigenous history. And then he's now a probation officer. He got his pardon through, which took 7 years, and went through a whole lot of personal things. He is now probation officer in a town north here in British Columbia. He's still now part of Module 6, which I'm creating. I'm in the process of finishing now. And he has, at his age now, he's now in his 40s, early 40s, acquired a level of compassion and understanding to work with these many criminals that he's working with and drug addicts. He is spiritually totally committed to fulfill his lesson, and he knows now that his early journey was a total gift for him to be where he is today, and he's forever grateful. And I tell you, when he lived here, which was until about a year ago, he lived in Victoria, he came on Mother's Day and brought me flowers and asked me and gave it to me on Mother's Day. No, I don't have children, but it was so moving and so touching. And this is just one example of someone who said, I've had enough of this life. I'm going to change, and I'm doing whatever it takes. And boy, do I have a lot of admiration for this young man.
What a beautiful story. Thank you so much, Anneli, for sharing. And it means that at any moment of life, it's possible to change. Some people say, I'm too old, I can't do this. No, it's always possible. But yes, it takes the will to do. It takes commitment. It takes support as well, because it's difficult to do it on your own. And it's why, the support system is so important. But yes, thank you. This was really a fabulous story. So thank you so much for
You're welcome.
For sharing it.
Mm.
And okay, as anybody else would like to share another story, like a case study was in mind, or Lena, or
I can share one.
Yeah, Farzin, go on.
Yes, please go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was working with somebody. She called me and out of desperation, and she was in another country, and she said that she was a young artist. She was a movie director, and she was a poet, and she was doing some paintings and stuff like that. She had a lot of talent, and she had a very healthy lifestyle as well. So, and then she got the news that she has cancer, and she was so disappointed. She was crying out for a couple of weeks because she didn't expect that. When I talked to her, she said that I don't even understanding. She said that I've not been eating anything with sugar for 2 years, and I only eat healthy things and stuff like that, and I'm moving my body and I do exercises, I'm fit. And so she had that, she didn't even accept the situation that she had. So what I do with those kind of clients is that based on the healing practice that I have, we work on the immune system, because the cancer cells are just the regular cells, but instead of going out of body in a couple of months or so, they just stay and start spreading and growing. And so I told her about some concepts to just change her mindset. And at the same time, I was working on her immune system. There are some elements in the immune system, like liver and the spleen and thymus gland and so on. They are some part of the immune system that sometimes they are affected by trapped emotions and some other things, and they are not operating well. So I was releasing those trapped emotions and cleaning them up, resetting those organs that is related to the immune system. At the same time, I was working on her mindset as well. For example, I told her that those cells that are spreading through your body, they are just part of your body. And imagine that you have a small child, a toddler that is crying. So sometimes the reason is that the toddler is hungry. Sometimes it needs to go to sleep. Sometimes it has a stomachache or something. You go and take care of that toddler. You don't kick that toddler because he or she is crying. You just go and take care. That cell that you have in your body is like that toddler that is out of balance. Instead of just pushing it out and get mad and angry, you just go and send the healing love to that cell. So I was working on both sides, her mindset and her immune system. So after there was a level of immune system that I was satisfied with, I told her that you better go and check again. And she said that they don't do the check in here. They said that we have the results. We see the tumors. Why should we do it again? So she had a chance to go to another country. She moved to another country, and they did the examination, and they found nothing in there. All the tumors were gone after that big shift that was from inside out on both immune system, because the immune system has the capacity to clean those things out if it is operating at a certain level. And then her mindset was shift too. And then I asked her, so now that you are cured from this cancer, what lesson did you learn? Because when something comes, there is a lesson behind it. And you know what she said? She said, before, all my paintings and poetry and movies that I was making, they were all dark. I was focusing on the negative side of things. If I show you my art or something like that, you can see it's all dark. But now it is shifted to just positivity. And that is the thing that she got out of it. She needed to go through that experience to look at the positive side of life.
Thank you so much, Farzin. Just such a great case study.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And now we're moving to the last part, which is really about overcoming barriers to holistic health. And the question is, what are the common challenges people face when trying to achieve a balanced life, and how can they overcome it? So I will ask, I will ask Dr. Annika for.
I don't see Dr. Annika here. Yeah.
She's not there. So then I will ask Dr. Anneli this question.
Well, as a therapist, I have come across of different types of resistances that people have to take care of themselves and not only that, but thrive. And could be a lot of things. It could be, depression. It could be anger. It could be a lot of negative causes, and they can even go back into different lives. So it's not just only what we experience or indoctrinated by here or what we experienced here. It could be a lot of things. So what helps to get out is a number of things. And it doesn't always work, but sometimes when my clients or the people I'm working with know that I really care about them, that I love them, that I wish their best and it's genuine, that sometimes creates a little bridge for them to commit to themselves. I have really no control over that. And I tell them that also, that I'm not here to fix anything. I cannot really do anything for them except be by their side and share with them some things that may be helpful along the way. So I spent at the beginning a significant amount of time to be really clear with them that I need their commitment. Without that, it's just a waste of money, and guess who looks bad? It's me, the therapist, because I didn't do it right. and even though that's really not that important, but what is important for me to see success. And many times is that dedication to victimhood that stops people from moving forward and being, being on the right path for themselves, whatever that may be at that time of their existence. And sometimes it's just really laziness and a sense of entitlement that someone else is at fault and they should do it, they should fix it. And as long as they have someone, a therapist or a coach or a mentor or a clergy who agrees with them, they are just fine. They just like that and there is no change. And that is very, very common. And sometimes therapists even buy into that and agree with that and take it personal. So there is a whole range of things that can happen. So the bottom line for me are two things: is the experience of genuine love that clients need to experience, and also a firm commitment, an unshakable commitment that individuals need to make to get through their own barriers. This process of going through barriers can be very, very different. They can go as far as, since we talked about cellular things, to doing fine material surgeries or implant removal or other types of clearing that on a fine material need to happen, as well as very practical strategies about life changes, practices, activities, goal setting, all the very familiar things, but they can cover a wide range of interventions on the part of the person who works with them to help them move forward and achieve the goal that they would like to achieve. So as you can tell from my brief kind of summary, the more a person who works with individuals knows and the more skill sets she or he has, or like a smorgasbord of options of skill sets, of intervention methodologies, of psychological understanding, of medical understanding, the better for the client. So I'm always suggesting that people should go to that person who has proven to have the broadest knowledge and experience in working with individuals, plus having done their own personal work. Like you said, Farzin, you play games. One of the ways you have your own inner dialogue is to make it fun and be like a child exploring, what's happening around you. And there are many other ways of doing it. So again, in closing, I would like to say that I'm in my life feel very privileged to have gone the path that I have gone, and I'm continuing to learn and to serve. And that's pretty good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, it's very, very powerful. Thank you so much, Anneli. And perhaps if I may, add something, to this question as well. And, particularly it's about, achieving a balanced life. And very often, you see, obviously there's a spiritual aspect, but as well, there's, the physical aspect as well. And when we talk about challenges, what I've seen as well, let's say, very often people struggle with, time management because they feel people feel overwhelmed with work, family, and could be other obligations. And we asked about solutions here. What can we do? It's really, for instance, like putting priorities in your tasks and making sure that I mean, in business, we talk about, time blocking, but it can be as well in your private life, just to keep time for your family, time for your friends. It's so important, because if we don't do this, particularly as professionals, we can fill our diary and then there's no time left. And afterwards we complain that, things don't happen. You touched as well on this about the goals, Anneli, and it's really when people don't have clear priorities, on what really matters for them. Mm-hmm. This needs to be addressed, because and very often it's, the idea of understanding what your core values are, mm-hmm. and realigning yourself with this, because if we are not, we cannot go forward, because, procrastinations, for instance, it's there, it's in the brain, because it will say, no, don't go there, because you're not aligned, it's not you. So, so another thing, it's, when people really overwork, they spend too much time, and it can lead to stress, for instance, exhaustion, and afterwards, perhaps, it's really about having non-negotiable time, I said, for family or for spiritual activities or for something else. Another challenge, which is quite often there, is people lack energy and they don't have self-care, so, and obviously we know that if we do that, if we neglect, physical and mental health, burnout is around the corner. So again, then it's about, obviously, some of the things we discussed before, but about, practicing, we talked about mindfulness, it's about sleep, it's about food, it's about, having all these practices, gratitude, and you see, another thing, which is, we saw that there are a lot of, I would say, digital, you can call them distractions. I mean, people spend so much time, on social media, and basically all this time there, I mean, sometimes it's quite, I mean, it's exhausting, it's draining, it doesn't bring a lot. And so sometimes it's, how do we get out of that? How do we really have time? So just a few points I wanted to add. So, and now we'll move to the final question, which is, how can individuals make small, sustainable changes in their routines to improve health and longevity? And I would like to ask this question to Farzin, please.
Okay,
small, sustainable changes in the routines.
Yeah, I talked about playfulness and so on. Mm-hmm. And to expand on it, so if we have the mindset of continuous improvement, then we always are looking at whatever routine that we have, and then we try to just find a way to improve it instead of getting stuck in the old programming. Because whatever the old programming has brought us is the life that we have right now. Mm-hmm. So if we are satisfied 100% with whatever we have right now at hand, it's okay, we can continue. But if there is something that we need to change, then we need to look at doing something that creates a new routine. And sometimes we feel that it is very hard to change the habits and stuff. But I'm going to tell you something. I think the best habit to build is the habit of habit building. If we have the habit of habit building, we are in the continuous improvement all the time. So how can we build the habit of habit building? It's very easy. It's not complicated. So we have to do it every day. For how long? For about a month. Some people say 4 weeks or so. It doesn't matter. Do something for 4 weeks. And then it can be something even fun. But I suggest it should be something related to whatever that you're working on. So it makes that relevance. For example, somebody wants to work on sales in their business. You know what I tell them? I tell them the best way to practice sales is facing rejection, because that is a barrier. So if you build that habit, you tell yourself, I'm going to go out and find a rejection. Find someone who reject me on my sales pitch. Then do it every day. At least one person. Out of fun. You just go out and I'm going to find that person who's going to reject me. And then you just do it for 4 weeks. It becomes a habit. You get comfortable with going out and talking to people and telling them what you have and stuff like that. So it becomes a habit. And then you develop that habit of habit building because you're enjoying. After a while, it becomes an automatic process and you are enjoying. So you can apply it in different aspects of life, like health, wealth, relationship, and happiness, or physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. You just find something that is relevant. And the most important thing is that we have to pay attention to what we pay attention to. That is another key. So we pay attention to what we pay attention to. So what is that? All of us came here for a purpose, for a reason, with an agenda. We came here to this life with an agenda. What is that agenda? Some people call it life purpose. And a lot of people have problem with finding their life purpose. You know, what is the best way to find the life purpose? It's not through our passions or talents or something like that. It is through the things that is repeating in our life, the problems or things that is repetitive patterns that we have in our life, a lesson that is repeating and repeating and repeating. We came here for that, to learn about that. So when we look at that from this perspective, all of a sudden my perspective changes. I embrace that thing that is putting me down all the time, you know, on a repetitive pattern. So I embrace it. I now know that that is my agenda. That is the things that I came here for. So I'm willing to do something to change the situation.
Thank you, Farzin, for that. So yeah, we are always tested, you know, tested by the universe in everything which happens in our lives. And Elena, would you like to add something to this? So, because now we arrive at the end of the, you know, this beautiful panel.
Yes, sure. Thank you. Making small, sustainable changes is the key to creating lasting health and longevity. And it is not about drastic overnight transformations. It's about making small, consistent improvements that compound over time. Let me share with you some powerful habits that you can easily incorporate into your daily routine to improve your overall health and longevity. First one, start with mindset. The first and most important step is shifting your mindset. Choose to believe that you are worthy of health, vitality, and longevity. This shift in consciousness is the foundation of every positive change you will make. The second one, hydrate first thing in the morning. Start your day by drinking a glass of water. Hydration is essential for every cell in your body and kickstarts of your metabolism. This small habit will give you more energy and help your body detoxicate. The third one, practice gratitude daily. Take a moment every morning or evening to list 3 or 5 things you're grateful for. Gratitude rewires your brain for positivity, reduces stress, and boosts your emotional well-being. And it's simple practice, which has the profound effect. Number 4, move your body. Start with a 10 minutes walk or some light stretching every day. Moving your body is essential for circulation, flexibility, and overall vitality. And the key is consistency. Even small amount of physical activity add up over time. 5, focus on whole foods. Rather than trying to overhaul your entire diet, start by eating more fruits, vegetables, and whole food into your meals. Focus on nourishing your body with the nutrients that you need, rather than cutting out foods. So gradually, your diet will naturally improve. Practice mindfulness. Set aside 5-10 minutes a day to meditate or simply breathe deeply. This reduces stress and clears your mind, leading to better decision making and emotional balance. And it's one of the simplest yet most powerful habits for longevity. 7 is about getting quality sleep. Prioritize sleep by setting a consistent bedtime and creating a calming nighttime routine. Sleep is your body's natural healing mechanism, and when you make it a priority, you will wake up with more energy and clarity. And last one, which I want to share today, is create a routine you enjoy. We mentioned this today. Do something that really makes you happy, something that you really feel joyful, love to do, get you in that beautiful state. And sustainability comes from making these changes feel natural, not like, as we said, a core. Yes, it is not that it is must. You make it full, like a playfully. You just find the reason why this is so much important and joyful for you. And this is these habits will help you to balance your spirit, your mind, your body, and will help you to live a good, healthy life. And when you make these small changes consistently, you will experience a powerful transformation that will support you for your years to come.
Thank you so much, Elena, for sharing, and really to every member of the panel. Okay, we're just a few left now, but does anyone want to add something to what was said today, or perhaps share some insights and what this panel brought you? Vangelis, please.
Yeah, on this last one, we talk about routines. I've never been very fond of them because in the business world, those routines, they're not present to them anymore. So what happened 20 years ago, or what worked 20 years ago in that context, in that environment, for that scenario, we tend to just stay with the same thing rather than evaluating, is this really beneficial for me today? So as long as all the routines and habits that we establish, I mean, the reason we forget our keys is because we set a routine. And if we're reaching for our keys and a phone call happens, you walk out without your keys because you're not present. So what really has helped me is to think about what I'm doing and not just do it automatically. And that takes a lot because we were talking about mindfulness all day today. So part of my thought of being mindfulness is to be present in everything I'm doing. Then all those routines and habits, they are so beneficial to us because my body knows, okay, and maybe I changed things up. I did that in the gym all the time. I had 3 different routines that I rotated over every 6 weeks, and my body loved it because it wasn't the same old thing all the time. So just to keep things fresh and, like Farzin said, fun, because maybe I walk at 6 a.m. one day and 10 p.m. the next day. Or maybe I do something, just maybe I brush my teeth before I do this or after I do this, or, just switch things up. I just make it fun, like Farzin said. And then now it's not it is a routine, but it's a routine where I am present in it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Vangelis, for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate everyone who participated today, and we discussed all these topics which have so much value for people who will listen us and who will start implementing this to our lives. So if you listen to this panel discussion, you're most welcome to write feedback, ask the questions, connect with our amazing experts worldwide, and see who you resonate with whom. And we are always here to help you to live happy, wealthy, and fulfilled life.